Okay, welcome to another watercolour lesson. If you watched my previous video, I showed you how to create tone using watercolour paint, just using water and a strong colour such as red and blue. Today we're going to take it one step further. So today we are going to use two colours, and we are going to fade out to white. So we're going to use water again, and for this exercise we're going to use red and yellow. Obviously producing orange as a consequence of them two mixing together. So the first thing you're going to need to use today is your plastic circle. You will also need a pencil, you will need a cup of water and a brush, and some watercolour paint. And as before, you should have some tissues at hand in case your brush gets too wet. So I'm just going to draw around this circle as before. And just like the previous lesson that I put on this channel, I am going to add a little bit of red. So the red is going to be the shadow, and we're going to do this in an arch shape, just like before. Okay, so I've just added the red arch, so there's my shade or my shadow, and I'm going to give my brush a really good clean. Now the next stage is to add a yellow arch, and I'm going to leave a little gap between them. So I'm going to go inside my paint, and I'm going to add a yellow arch with a little space in between. Okay, and then I'm going to wash my brush, but this time I'm just going to use the water on the brush. So I'm going to make sure there's not too much water on the brush initially, it shouldn't be dripping, and I'm just going to soften those edges as I did previously with the red first of all. So just softening the edges, and we slowly get closer to the yellow band. I'm just going to wash my brush again, and we're going to make contact with the yellow now. So slowly it's going to bleed together and create an orange colour. So we've gone from red, dark red, deep red, slowly to orange, to yellow. I'm going to wash my brush again, and this time the other side of the yellow we're going to bleed out, and this will go right into our highlight. So we're going to get lighter and lighter. Now if the paint is still looking like a strong yellow, so if the water has taken a lot of the colour from the yellow, I always wash it and get the colour off my brush before going back, slowly bleeding it to the edge, and you should end up with a very 3D looking sphere. We can make the red go a little bit darker, so just on the edge here we can make it go a little bit darker just by adding a little bit of blue. And very carefully along the edge I'm just going to add a touch of blue, and it should make the shadow go even darker, and you should end up with something like that. Now, it might be quite hard to see because of the light reflecting off the wet paper. There's one that I did earlier that is obviously now dried, and you can see that we've got a lovely tonal ball. Good luck, see what you can do.